Hello, everyone. Welcome to another episode of the Wahid podcast. Today we have Sam Shehab with us, and he's an interdisciplinary designer, and he specializes in speculative design, which we're going to find out soon what that's about. So before we start, we have an announcement. So there's an animal awareness campaign that Ginger Camel has started, and basically that is to provide funding to animal shelters around Doha, which are struggling for resources because of the summer and how people are all leaving, and not many people are adopting animals anymore, so they're really struggling for funds and resources. So we'll leave the link in the show notes below, and please donate how much ever you can. It would be really helpful to them and to the animals in Qatar. Okay, welcome to our show, Mr. Islam.
Thank you very much.
Tell us about yourself. How did you get to Qatar?
Oh, so I've been in Doha for 6 years now. My background is in architecture, so I worked as an architect for almost 10 years now. When I moved to Doha, I found the interdisciplinary program at VCU, Virginia Commonwealth University, and I always wanted to do my master's, but I just wanted to do it in something else, not architecture. Like I wanted to expand my background as an architect. So that's where the interdisciplinary approach came, because it kind of taught me how to just tackle everything from a bigger approach, basically, from an interdisciplinary approach. And so yeah, this is when the switch happened from architecture into more of like a designer. Or the speculative design thing came while I'm studying, because it kind of like, I'm sure, like, we all watch movies.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of movies are based on speculative design. And this is when I got so interested in that. I was like, oh, okay, well, we all watch movies. Like, like a lot of movies that are actually based on speculative design. And a lot of TV shows, like there's, like, we can watch now, they're based on speculative design. And this is when my background came in, because I'm an architect, and that helped me a lot imagining or building my scenarios of the speculative design.
Okay, what exactly is speculative design?
So basically, very simple, very simple. It's an not imaginary, but it's like you're building a scenario in the future, but based on the data that you find today.
Okay, so could it be like dystopia?
It could be dystopia, it could be utopia, depends on your imagination. Like, if you're an optimistic person, then it's utopian future. If not, then oh god. So like there are a lot, like, have you watched the show Black Mirror?
Yes.
It is it is all speculative design, all of it.
Oh wow.
So
that's
I'm
what
telling
you call
you,
that.
exactly. It's all based on data that we find today, that it started happening today, but it's in the future. We take it furthermore into like our imagination, and it depends either utopia or dystopian future.
So it's all about like creativity and imagination,
Yes.
but also you do use research and facts
Oh
from
yes,
today.
of course. Yes.
Okay, that's amazing, because Black Mirror is one of my favorite shows of all time.
Exactly.
And I love the dystopian element of it.
It's
Not
dark.
the utopian. I mean, there wasn't anything utopian about it. I
Yeah,
don't think
exactly.
so.
In the show,
Yeah,
no.
so I mean,
Maybe it starts positive, but at the end, it's always like kind of
yeah.
like. But that's the thing with speculative design. It doesn't have to be about technology.
It can be about anything.
It can be about anything. It, like, the future doesn't mean it's gonna be super high tech.
So like Handmaid's Tale?
Exactly.
Okay.
Yes, something like that. That
Okay.
is so speculative design as well. Like, even the garments, whatever they're wearing, like it's serving the purpose in the future in that scenario. So that's where we come in as a designer. Like okay, the Handmaid's Tale, the garments designed in that show, they are so speculative design, because that's not something that you're gonna wear now. No, that's something that you only wear in that scenario in that time.
Okay.
So that's why, as a fashion designer, they have to build the scenario in the future. What are they going to be wearing to build
Okay,
that
that's
scenario?
amazing. So what other fields do speculative designers work in? For example, I understand books maybe, and TV shows, movies. What others?
Mainly, like, designed objects, performances, like Exactly. It's mainly in the movies. Like mainly the audience will see it more in the movies and
Gotcha.
the TV shows industry. But yeah, that's why.
Gotcha. Okay. So let's go back a little bit to you
Okay.
and why you decided to move from architecture to designing and art.
So, well, no, the thing is, I did not really move. Like, I wouldn't be in my place right now if it wasn't for my architecture background. And that's, like, I'm always grateful to be an architect. I'm very proud to be an architect. However, as an architect, we have always this thing, like, we don't have enough from one thing. And that's what I felt. Like, I wanted more. I wanted more. I finished architecture. I was like, I wanted more. I did feng shui for interior design. I wanted more. I started painting. I was like, I wanted more. So that's when, the MFA came, and I started doing. I got really obsessed with filmmaking. I worked as a filmmaker for a bit, for almost a year, and I'm back now. I'm one of the artists at the fire station now. So I'm doing paintings, I'm doing everything from like my background, from what I do now, from what I learned, from everything.
Okay. So when you're talking about like the interdisciplinary approach, what are the disciplines involved in this? Like what are the disciplines that interest you that you've brought into your art?
So basically, interdisciplinary design, you don't do, like, we're not supposed to do everything. We're not supposed to do all disciplines. Like, okay, when I design something, I'm not supposed to know all the disciplines.
Of course.
Exactly. However, it's kind of an approach to collaborate with other disciplines, but you'll have a little bit of background on what the other discipline is doing. It's better than not knowing anything and you just hand your design to someone and, finish it. No, but it's better to collaborate with other disciplines to achieve what your design is looking like. So for myself, my interdisciplinary approach is more personal, to be honest, because I like doing everything myself. Like when I'm thinking about, I want to make something move, I would actually try to learn it myself and do it. And if I failed once or time to like 3 times, this is when I go ask other disciplines. But for me, I'd like to try a couple of times till I actually fail, and then go ask for other disciplines, for other designers, for help in general. But every time, like my work is mainly about experimental work. So every time I do something, every time I fail, I don't actually. I learn something new from the experiment, and I try to avoid it the next experiment.
Okay. So from my experience of interdisciplinary studies, because I have a journalism background, so what I would say is that we use research, anthropology, politics, all these kinds of different disciplines when we're writing a story, when we're reporting, when we're asking people questions. That is what I think of as interdisciplinary. Is that something that you also...
It is very similar, exactly. Like, it is very similar. Think about, I think fashion is more related to people. Think about interactive garments. Like, there are a lot of designers now that they do designs that interacts with the sun, with the weather, with anything. Mm-hmm. These interactive garments, as fashion designers, they don't have to do the mechanism behind the interaction that it's happening, but they bring another discipline, which is like someone with, I don't know, technology background, like, that can do
Gotcha.
the coding mainly, like IT probably, I don't know what's the background.
That's amazing. So you get to learn a lot of different things when you're just, doing your own work. That's amazing.
Exactly.
That's something that really inspires me, because I feel like if you're not doing that, then you're probably really bored in your life,
Like mainly, like a very simple example, like at VCU during my MFA, we were like, I had an architecture background. There was fashion design, there was textile design, there was graphic design, and there was a mechanical engineer with us. So we were like 5 sitting in one studio, just brainstorming, and this is where the interdisciplinary approach comes. Like, I would know something that my classmate didn't know, so I would help her with that. She the fashion designer, I worked a lot with her because mainly, again, my research, I was talking about skin and the second skin. So I did a lot of fashion kind of not fashion, garments in general related to skin. So I had a lot of help from fashion designers. Now, yeah, I have like a little bit of background in fashion design, but that doesn't mean like I'm gonna design a whole thing by myself. No, I still do not know how to like
Yeah.
design a whole garment by myself.
Well, that's honestly really inspiring and incredible because it's connecting with people, getting to know, and there's so much knowledge behind all of this. So I'm really inspired right now.
Thank you.
Wish I did my MFA as well. No, just kidding. I love journalism. So you are a bit of a filmmaker as well, right? Tell us about that.
So it started with like during VCU actually, like during my MFA, we had like a visual communication class, and we were just an introduction to filmmaking or videography, or just how it was just an introduction to how film, our performance, our designs, our something like that. But I got a little bit obsessed, and I just took it furthermore. Like, so I worked for almost a year as an art director and a producer for a TV show, and yes, I'm still learning actually as a filmmaker. I'm still learning because every day there is something new. Every day, like, so I'm still learning as a filmmaker. It's really interesting, and
Yeah.
again, all of that goes back to actually my architecture background. If it wasn't for that, like, my imagination is really like sometimes I just sit and imagine stuff. So that helps me in my designs, in my filmmaking background, like in everything, like building scenarios and building stories. So like that TV show, we were filming in countries that I never visited before with crew that barely spoke English. So we had a lot of communication problems there. So like imagine I had to build a scenario on the spot, on site. I never visited these locations before, so I had to build a whole episode on site. So that was the challenge. It was really challenging, but
Yeah, that sounds scary to be honest, because really it does.
that's exactly
Yeah.
that's totally different from what we learned. What we learned, no, you need pre-production, you need storyboards, you need
You
know
need to plan
exactly
every single
Yeah,
second of
that-
every
that
single
was-
minute of the day.
It was an
especially in
intensive,
filmmaking.
yeah, exactly.
Oh god, that sounds
Yep,
literally
that was-
crazy.
Yeah, that was like very challenging, to be honest, to be just in like it
Yeah.
was.
Wow. Okay. Well, interesting question. What's the story behind your mustache? But one second, there are people who are listening to us on the podcast. They really don't know what I'm talking about. So, Islam has twirly mustache at the ends, and that's really interesting to me because in Qatar you don't see a lot of people experimenting with the way they look or experimenting with how they're dressing. I usually see this when I'm traveling, but not in Qatar. So tell me, what was the story behind it? What was your motivation?
You said it yourself, experimenting. So yeah, 4 years ago I was just experimenting, and I let it grow. And since then, I actually cannot shave it. Like, it's kind of my identity now, and I can't shave it. Like, every time I try, I can't.
Wow.
So I'm struggling now, but I don't want to shave it. But it's just like it is my identity
Do you
now.
have to take a lot of care of it?
Oh, yes.
Oh really?
Oh yes.
Do you have to, like, oil
it's
it
not
and-
easy. It's not
Oh,
easy
wow.
at all. It's not easy.
That's funny. That's
But yeah, but exactly like you said, it's kind of strange for people here because like when I go out, like I face a lot of
Questions, probably. Or
questions,
stares.
pictures, stares,
Yeah.
everything.
Wow.
But yeah.
Well, that's amazing that
Thank
you're
you.
stepping out of the box
Thank
and out of
you.
the comfort zone. So I know you said that you have something happening at the fire station. Do you want to talk a bit about what you're gonna showcase?
So basically, the exhibition opening is coming up soon at the fire station, which I'm gonna miss that studio. The residency was amazing, just 9 months of having a place to work, because not just the place, the environment itself at the fire station, like brainstorming with the other artists and like being there, it's very inspiring.
So the residency is part of your MFA program with VCU?
No.
Or separate?
It's separate.
Okay.
It's like I applied to the residency after I finished my MFA,
Okay.
and then we did 9 months already. Like, we finished this year, and yeah, just the environment there. It is inspiring, sitting with the other artists, because again, it's very, like, for me, it is very interdisciplinary as well, because not just like my MFA, there were 5 other designers, but these are 18 other designers, so
Wow.
or artists, because it's an artist in residency. So so yeah, not just 18. So meeting people in the cafe, in the elevator, and talking about, like, brainstorming together, it was very inspiring.
So what's the theme you're going to be presenting on?
So I'm taking my I'm taking another approach for my thesis and my research, which is about the human body skin. What I did before was kind of like more speculative approach, like and that was for the VCU exhibition that happened last year. What I did, the theme was more speculative last year, and I took the human body skin and took it furthermore as why the manipulation that it's happening now in the current landscape to the human body skin, people changing their identities through the skin, through tattoos, through piercings, through a lot of things, plastic surgeries, everything. It's all through the skin. But they started 3D printing skin now.
Mm-hmm.
So I took it furthermore, and I thought about, what about if we actually 3D print skin and use these manipulation or utilize these manipulations into our favor? Like, will we get wrinkles-free skin? Will we get stretch marks-free skin? Will our skin actually ever grow old? So that was the speculation last year. This year I'm taking a little bit an artistic approach. So I'm doing like a sculpture. I'm doing a video performance. I'm doing paintings. It's kind of more artistic approach more than like last year's speculative. It was too.
And you can't share your thesis with us probably because we should go and see it at the fire station.
Well, yeah, yes.
Okay.
Well, the thesis, the book is on the VCU scholar website, but the performance should come and see it on.
When is it happening?
So the opening is on Tuesday the 17th for the public.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Do you want to share a little bit about what your thesis is about? Because I'm actually really interested right now.
So
what do you think would happen?
So I call my thesis, like my research exactly, I call it skin face. And I think I need to explain that because basically it's 2 words. It's skin interface. And I'm always interested in the second skin. Like, again, my architecture background comes in. All the urban plan around us, this is our second skin. The city itself, where we live, where we grow up, where, like, our backgrounds, this is our second skin. The fire station show, I am mixing between this and that, but basically I'm talking about myself a little bit in that. As I am from Egypt, I'm from Cairo, and technically I am a product of multiculturals. So because Egypt has been through a lot of different cultures, through colonization, through everything, and I'm a product of all of that.
Mm-hmm.
And as Cairo is my second skin, that affected me as my identity, or how I think, or how I react to things and everything. So basically, I'm talking more about that second skin, how these multicultures affected me right now, affected my character, affected my identity, everything.
That sounds amazing, and I'm really looking forward to coming and watching your performance and your art. So, what are your future plans?
Yeah, that's I'm asking myself that too because I usually take it step by step. Like, I finished my MFA, I did the residency, and we're just finishing up the residency, the fire station residency now, so we'll see.
No, I totally get that. Every time someone
Yeah,
asks me,
I cannot multitask.
what do you see yourself as, like, 10 years down the line? And I'm like, I really don't know.
I don't see myself tomorrow, so
yeah.
so yeah, that's the thing. Like, I don't really think about I cannot think about 2 things at the same time. I need to finish one thing, one show at a time, and then move to the other.
Okay. So, you were talking about a little bit about your imagination and how that really inspired your work. And for me, like, personally, I am not a very imaginative person. I tried writing books for a while and it wasn't really working because I can't really, like every time I'm writing, I'm thinking from my perspective, not from something else, from a character's perspective, because obviously my journalism background is all about like facts, right? So it's really difficult to transform into this other zone where I can be whoever I want, and write about whoever I want, right? So what are your tips for somebody who's trying to go that extra mile, trying to be a little more imaginative, a little more creative?
Well, mainly probably the answer to that would be read, but I don't like reading. So I would say
I love reading. Offense.
no, I have concentration problems with reading. I cannot concentrate for like more than 2 minutes. So I would say watch TV.
Okay.
TV shows, movies. It really helps a lot.
Okay.
Well, some people would prefer reading still. But I'm talking to people like who doesn't like reading, like me.
Yeah. Okay.
Like, yes, TV shows. Like I got a lot of inspirations from TV shows, from movies, from people around you. Just try to observe.
Yeah, that's good advice.
Like for me, I observe more than I read, or more than I do. Like I'm observer.
That's good advice. And then, you take that, and then you go back and you force yourself to give yourself some time in the day to, think about these things and be more creative. Okay, thank you so much for being on our show. This was amazing. And
it was my pleasure.
Good luck for your exhibition.
Come.
And I really hope it's really successful. We'll come.
Yes.
What are the dates?
So the VIP opening is on Monday, the 16th, and it's
That's
open
quick.
for it is and it's open for public on Tuesday, the 17th.
All right, perfect. So if you want to see his exhibition and find out a little more about him, go to the fire station on Monday or onwards. And do you want to share your social media handles or anything to promote yourself and your work?
Yes, so my Instagram is Sam Shehab. We'll share the links.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
Okay, and we'll also share some of his artwork, some pictures, so you can get inspired to actually go and visit. So thank you so much, Islam.
Thank you so much. Thank you. It's my pleasure.
And see you guys in the next episode. Thank you and have a great day.